Okay, truth seekers, in this video I wanted to talk about the supernatural cloud of seven angels, or as Brother Branham also referred to it as the seven angels or constellation of angels. There are basically two different ideas or groups that the majority of believers following Brother Branham are taught when it comes to the cloud of seven angels of 1963. The first group basically believes and teach that Brother William Branham was actually there on February 28th when the seven angels appeared and the photo was taken. I was in this group myself for most of the years I have followed Brother William Branham's teaching. We believed this because Brother Branham said he was there and caught up in that constellation of seven angels, even though there are other quotes that seemingly contradict this, but it is basically our lack of understanding. So we would always try to make it fit that scenario and would just refute any evidence that was contrary with any supernatural possibilities to satisfy our conscience, since we do believe that Brother Branham is right. Now the other group believes Brother Branham is right too, but there were far fewer who believed this other way, which I have now accepted as truth. And many others are slowly transitioning to accept this as they review other quotes and facts. That Brother Branham was not there on February 28th, as we presumed. The facts are that Brother Branham was in Houston having meetings during the time of February 28th, which he shortened because he needed to get to Arizona to speak on behalf of a man standing trial for murder and facing the death penalty. Brother Branham wanted to get there to try and prevent the judge from ruling in favor for the death penalty. The other fact is a quote that seemingly contradicts what he previously said, but it really doesn't. He makes reference to his being there at the time of the seven angels, that the seven angels appeared, by saying in a nonchalant way that it was a couple of days before or a couple of days after, basically indicating his experience did not happen on February 28th. This quote is what finally made me repent and agree with the second group's idea and the explanation of the seven angels or constellation of angels in regard to when Brother Branham actually experienced them, which was not on February 28th when the cloud photo was taken. Several ministers like Brother George Smith, Brother Perry Green, and Brother Gerald McGraw, who all knew and believed Brother Branham and have been in the second group and tried to convince others that Brother Branham wasn't there February 28th, but most wouldn't listen. Even Brother Lee Vale, who was Brother Branham's close associate, believed, the first group for decades, but just before he passed away, probably several years before he passed away, he changed his stance on and agreed with the second group and believed that Brother Branham wasn't actually there on February 28th, that it was some later date when he had his experience, just like the second group says. So the first group was just staunchly entrenched that he was there February 28th because they didn't have the internet for almost 50 years and therefore didn't know every quote that Brother Branham made. So, and then another fact is that Brother Branham was hunting hogs in Arizona with two other men when he experienced the constellation of seven angels. Well, hunting season didn't begin on February 28th. That should have been enough to make people understand that Brother Branham wasn't there on February 28th, but unfortunately it wasn't. The second group of believers, which I am now in agreement with, believe that Brother William Branham was hunting roughly and around March 6th, give or take a day or two, because the court appearance for the man standing trial was on March 4th in Arizona. We just believe those 7 angels remained there for several days until Brother Branham got there. Even though the cloud was gone and no longer able to be seen with the natural eye, doesn't mean they still weren't there, unable to be seen, but could still be seen by a prophetic eye and prophet. Another fact, when Brother Branham was hunting, when he was hunting, and he heard a loud explosion like a thunder. And it wasn't a stormy day either. When he regrouped with the other 2 men that had split up during the hunt, he asked them, did you hear that? You know, he never asked them, did you see that? You know, and the other 2 men did witness, they heard it also. However, they never saw the cloud because it was no longer able to be seen since several days had passed, you know, after February 28th. But we believe Brother Branham could still see those 7 angels with his prophetic supernatural eyes. Plus, Brother Branham said he was caught up in the constellation of angels. He never said he was caught up in the cloud of angels. There is a difference, obviously. Amen. You know, the cloud was just a temporary thing that was made by the 7 angels, which could be seen for every eye, and the camera could photograph it. You know, but the constellation of angels, those supernatural beings, still remained there, you know, for several days, but no longer could be seen by the natural eye. So it shouldn't be hard to understand that the 7 angels remained and stayed there waiting for Brother Branham to get there. After all, he said they came weeks later to Jeffersonville when he preached the 7 seals, and then over a year later in 1964, the 7 angels went up toward Alaska, and that's when the coast of Alaska and Anchorage almost sunk in 1964. So those 7 angels stayed around for a long while, well after February 28th. It doesn't matter if you could no longer see them or not. So you will still come across those who believe Brother Branham was there on February 28th because that is what the majority teaches. However, many close to Brother Branham and myself no longer believe that he was there on February 28th. We just believe he was caught up in that supernatural constellation of angels on or around March 6th, unable to be seen with the natural eye. We don't believe he was caught up in the cloud of angels on February 28th. The cloud dissipated late that night, probably around midnight, because Brother William Branham's ministry is the midnight cry to awaken the bride. Amen. Now, another separate issue that most message believers were unaware of for decades after William Branham passed away is that there were 2 clouds that day very similar to each other. However, one of them was made by the Thor rocket that exploded over California, and it was traveling with the prevailing winds of the jet stream about 90 miles per hour and made it to Arizona in the early evening, but dissipated around 7 p.m. and didn't develop into the night sky and came close to the cloud of 7 angels that Brother William Branham spoke of in Life magazine. Now, Life magazine never mentioned the second cloud, but Science magazine did. God allowed the 7 angels cloud to be identified with Life magazine because he is the author of Life. God didn't allow the impersonator cloud made by the Thor rocket to be identified with Life. The differences between the 2 clouds are the cloud of 7 angels remained relatively still moving very slowly to the west or northwest against the prevailing winds and developed well into the night sky until around midnight or so. The second cloud made by the Thor rocket was moving rapidly around 90 miles per hour with the prevailing wind and had dissipated early in the evening sky around 7 p.m. But the scoffers and critics of Brother William Branham will try and tell you that Brother William Branham's cloud was the cloud made naturally by the Thor rocket and try to explain it away by natural scientific occurrences. But that is what the devil has always done. Just like Ramses claimed the water turning to blood was simply explained by red dirt that slid into the river upstream. Brother Branham always taught about twins. They always show up at the same time, just like Cain and Abel, just like Esau and Jacob, and just like Jesus and Judas, one of God and the other of the devil. It shouldn't surprise anyone that there would be twin clouds too, one of God and the other sent of the devil. Those of us who believe Brother William Branham have made some mistakes trying to understand everything Brother Branham said and may have portrayed and taught about the cloud with a wrong perception for years. However, that doesn't make Brother Branham wrong. Brother Branham was right. We were just still green in our understanding and had to lay and ripen in the sun a while to become fully mature in our understanding of these supernatural occurrences. So I hope that helps you truth seekers out there. Keep reading your Bibles and pray, and I believe God will give you the answers.